This is the story of how one of the richest villages anywhere freeloads on its less fortunate neighbors. South Nyack is not a large village. We have only 3,502 residents. We do have the good fortune of being bordered on the east by the spectacular expanse of the Tappan Zee, and being bordered on the west by thousands of acres of heavily forested state park land where deers, bears, eagles, hawks all roam free. Our houses are for the most part modest. They have a median value of $460,000, but we find them quite charming. We're bordered to the south by Grandview on the Hudson, the smallest village in New York State. It's actually hard to see on a map. They have 298 people, and the village consists primarily of a single, narrow two-lane road. Don't let that fool you, though. They have spectacular houses with a median value of $1.3 million. In addition to being bonded to Grandview geographically, we also share our police department with them. Now, during the past summer, as South Nyack has come under an existential crisis, Mayor Larry Lind of Grandview has taken it upon himself to pontificate and instruct South Nyackers how they should react to the crisis. One of his stranger arguments is that we should listen to him because Grandview pays less taxes than anyone else. How did the richest village around pay less taxes than the rest? Well, it's easy. They cheat. And they have a long history of it. Let's look at a couple examples here. We'll start with the Nyack Fire Department. Nyack's fire department is known throughout the state as one of the best fire departments anywhere. Until 35 years ago, the 8 companies of the Nyack Fire Department were financed by the village in which they happened to be located. As it turned out, Nyack had 6 companies, while Upper Nyack had 1 and South Nyack had 1. When Nyack came under hard times financially, the neighboring villages said, this is not really a fair arrangement. Let's create a fire district and ensure that the costs are shared fairly by all the villages. Well, almost all the villages. Grandview connived their way out of paying their fair share. And then there was the Nyack Library. Grandview is in the Nyack Library District. And the way the Nyack Library is financed is by a very modest tax. But due to the quirk in the way that the taxes come collected, Grandview realized they could get away without paying it. So they don't. It's astonishing. They cheat the library out of the library tax. And now for the Joint Police Department. The way the entity which controls the Joint Police Department is organized is astonishing. It's run by a board of 5 elected officials. 3 of those officials must be from South Nyack and 2 from Grandview. Given that South Nyack is 12 times larger than Grandview, Grandview should only make up about 8.3% of the board. So when it comes to police matters, a vote from a rich resident of Grandview is 12 times more powerful than a South Nyack voter. Now, at first glance, you might think this doesn't matter since South Nyack has 60% of the board. But in actuality, it does matter. Any action taken by the police board requires 4 votes. The result is Grandview controls the police board. And it gets worse. Grandview doesn't pay their fair share of the police budget. Rather than go on assessment, Mayor Lind decided, we should only pay 22%. Imagine the outrage there would be if 298 rich people decided, Oh, we don't want to pay the assessment on the school taxes. We'll pay a percentage. And then had veto over everything the school board did? The organization of the Joint Police Board is undemocratic, unfair, and unacceptable. We call on Mayor Christian and our newly elected trustees to immediately withdraw from this relationship with our freeloading friends from the South.